there is a place beyond fear and fantasy, where celluloid and shadow make the impossible real. This place is called Exterior, Los Angeles. Tonight's story is about a famous actor accused of a horrendous crime, a common occurrence in the City of Angels. But this time, the story takes an uncommon turn. It is titled Flashes of Light, and it was written by Levin Menekse.
Lennox Henry stood behind the microphone, absorbing the white flashes. He was an action star whose career consisted of him performing heroic feats in slow motion, surrounded by broken glass, chased by explosions. So seeing him weak and beaten like this caused a certain cognitive dissonance. He started by reading a stock press statement. He apologized to his family for the scandal and his adulterous behavior and the drugs. He talked about God and forgiveness. But he maintained his innocence. He had not raped that woman in his hotel room. Yes, he was guilty of cheating on his wife, but the encounter had been perfectly consensual. A woman in the crowd rolled her eyes. A cameraman thought about which of his frozen food choices he should consume for dinner tonight. Juicy scandals like this were business as usual in this part of Los Angeles. They had seen this before, and they knew they were going to see this again. Then Lennox stopped. He put the paper down and rubbed his hands with his eyes. "Fuck this," he muttered, but the microphone picked it up. The crowd of reporters shifted as if the millipede to which they were legs to raised its head. This was unusual. Was there going to be a moment of human vulnerability? Was there going to be something real here, in the heart of Los Angeles? An old white man wearing an expensive suit that only old white men get to wear leaned in to cover the microphone in front of Lennox. He must have been his lawyer or his agent or something like that. But Lennox grabbed the microphone, leaned forward and whispered, "That poor woman. What the fuck did I do? I shouldn't have done that. Why the fuck did I do that? Jesus, who does something like that? What does that make me, man? What does that make me?" This caused 3 old white men in expensive suits to dive towards the pool of microphones, as if they were trying to smother a live grenade. But Lennox Henry, who portrayed men of towering height and gargantuan strength, took the microphone without exerting any effort and continued as his lawyers, agents, and entourage bellowed to the press to stop recording. He said, "I deserve more than prison, man. I inflicted real damage, permanent damage on a human being, and there is no end to that. There is nothing I can do now to heal her. Money? Fuck money. Settlements? Fuck that. I shouldn't live. I shouldn't be allowed to exist. Someone who fucking rapes someone shouldn't be allowed to exist. I mean..." He slumped over the podium. "I apologize to that girl from the heart of my hearts. You won't see me again, and I know that you won't ever be healed from what I've done. I promise you that I won't ever get to do the same thing to anyone else ever again. I'll make sure that I die like I deserve to." And he left. Just walked out and disappeared. The cops were too shocked and confused to bust him on the spot, and his agents and lawyers had momentarily forgotten to look at him while they were dealing with the media frenzy. And so, he was gone, Lennox Henry, into the night. The legend is that he walked into a cheap motel that night and gave the night clerk a $200,000 check. His condition was simple. When he shot himself, he wanted the clerk to call the police before any of the paparazzi could come to the room and photograph his mutilated body. He wanted his death to be a solitary and hidden affair. He did not want his wife and his 2 little girls to see his blown brains and dead eyes. However, it is said that the night clerk had phone numbers of a handful of paparazzi at hand and made a deal with one of them. Nobody knows how much money the night clerk got, or even if he really existed. But what is known is that if you type Henry Lennox into Google and press enter, not only will you see pictures upon pictures of Henry Lennox's dead body, this hulking giant of a man reduced to a gunshot wound in the back of his head, but you will also see that one picture where he is still alive and he sees the flash from the paparazzo's camera emanate towards him, but the gun has already flared in his mouth and it's too late to do anything else, and he has this expression of pure terror and despair as if he just thought of something he would rather forget, but for some reason cannot.